Good morning. Yeah, I'm live. I'm live once again. This is interesting. I always love it. uh, this is Cassidy, as always. It's Saturday. Saturday morning. My hair is a mess. It is. It's just, again, I need a wig. I need a wig real bad. Saturday morning. It's beautiful outside. It's already about 60 here at 9:18 in the morning, and it's supposed to get up to 80 today. It was in the upper 70s yesterday, and it's supposed to hit 80 today. So summer, well, kind of here, because it's going to drop back down to the 60s starting tomorrow. I have a feeling, we're going to catch some more bad weather, but let's hope it's good. At this time last year, I was walking around in dresses all the time. I haven't done that yet. I didn't even put on a dress the other night. Thursday night was my introduction to the Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce of the Harrisburg area. And I got dressed up. I got my brows done. I got my nails done. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. I was not impressed. Let's just put it this way. I'm not Chamber of Commerce material. I was there for like 15 minutes and I realized, no. Some of these people I might know in social situations outside of that event, but nah, it's just not me. I don't own a business. I'm not in business for myself. Most of it is people who are in business for themselves, who own business, who are entrepreneurs. I was just like, Jesus, this is not what I'm doing. I actually had some business cards printed up, and I noticed two people I'd given my cards to just put them down on a table somewhere, and I was like, okay, I get the feeling you fucking don't want to have anything to do with me. So when I got home, I was like, it's a learning experience, but even if I'm in business for myself, and I kind of am, I'm not a Chamber of Commerce person. I've actually had two people say, oh, you're the sort of person we're looking for. No, I think I'm the sort of person whose dues you're looking for. Beyond that, I don't think I'd fit in. So I was there for like a little over an hour. I ate some food, had some pastries, had a root beer. I did not drink any. They were drinking Yuling, which, given the fact that the Yuling Brewery here in Pennsylvania was a big supporter of the current occupant of the White House, whose name I will not say, I actually wanted to say something to someone, like, why do you have Yuling here? They're supporting people who are anti-LGBT. And all I had to do was wait to hear somebody say, well, I'm a GOP supporter. And at that point I was like, I'm in the wrong place. I'll see you around. I walked into the wrong building. I'm sorry. I'll see you around. Bye. So, yeah, no, it's not happening. I may run into the people I know who asked me to come, and if they ask me what I thought, I'll be honest. I'll just say, it's not for me. I'm not a business owner. I'm not an entrepreneur. Nah. I didn't feel a connection to anyone there. I really didn't. It was just sort of like everybody's hawking their own businesses and stuff like that. It's like, I could give a shit about that. Selling books, yeah. But people look at you when you do that and they're like, what the hell are you talking about? Books. Unfortunately, the job search has not been going well. Here it is, 3.5 months, and I think I've had like 3 nibbles. And I do mean nibbles. I had one guy actually contact me and say, there's gaps in your job history. And I know what they're talking about. There's periods where he didn't work and they want to know what was going on. And it's like, well, I was out of work, asshole. That's what was going on. Especially when I was out of work for 3 years. And I have had numerous disparaging comments from people interviewing me wanting to know why it took 3 years to get a job. In fact, I think I actually I was, not considered for a certain position because I basically blew up on the interviewer and told them that I was sick and tired of people casting casting aspersions at me over the fact that I was unable to get a job. I sent out 1,300 resumes. I contacted people. I couldn't get interviews. When I did get interviews, I got lowballed 3 times on one. I mean, they kept lowering how much they wanted to pay me. I said, you guys don't want to admit that anyone who has 30 years experience and is over 50 years old is hard to employ because companies don't want to pay them what they're worth. And I said, but you would rather cast aspersions at a person and say, oh, well, it must be something to do with your personality. I said, how could it have something to do with my personality when the company I'm applying for has never even met me? I said, that's BS. They just look at the job history and they go, oh, this person's old. I don't want to have to pay him $100,000. We're only looking to pay him 50, or pay her 50, or pay them 50. Yeah, that interview did not go well because you could see about a third of the way into it, all of a sudden his eyes were like, oh shit. Because I was blasting the dude. I was just like, I'm sick and tired of hearing this shit from people. I really am. I'm sick and tired of people who don't know me, don't know what I went through, casting snide-ass comments and remarks like, well, I don't understand why you didn't get a job. I don't understand why you weren't working. Must be something there that that was causing it to happen. Yeah, it's called ageism, asshole. That's what it's called. And you don't want to admit it exists, but it does. Needless to say, I didn't get that job. Their excuse that they came back to me with was the fact, and I love this one, that with my age and experience, they felt I would have trouble being managed by a younger person. Yeah. Okay. So right there, they were basically doing a little bit of ageism by saying, based on their age, 50-some-year-old person, they're probably not going to want to be managed by some kid in their 30s. It wouldn't have bothered me until he started making stupid decisions, and I would have called him on it. I would have too. That's the thing. I've been known to do that. Oh, why are you doing that? That's stupid. Oh, you can manage me, but if you're gonna do stupid shit, I'm gonna call it out. Yeah. So, I'm still sending stuff out. I'm hoping something turns around real soon, like in the next 2 months. It probably will too. Maybe I'll try getting back into state work. Also, speaking of state work, I finally started applying for my Pennsylvania driver's license. And oi, this fucking state. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I had to jump through so many hoops, and I still haven't got it. I got to go back Monday because I'm trying to get my license. And the way the process here works is first you have to have your driver's license, then you have to get your plates, then you have to go get your car inspected. And I'm like, what in the hell? That is such a back-assward system from what I know. You have to have a driver's license in Indiana to be able to get plates, but you usually got to get your car inspected first before you can get your plates. And I was like, nobody's ever told me anything about this. And then I got to show them my birth certificate. And then, of course, they're saying, well, your birth certificate has that M on it, so we have to put that on your driver's license. And I got to fill out another form and send it to my doctor before she retires and say, you need to fill out this form and bring it back so I can have the gender marker on my goddamn license changed. And God. And on top of all of that, it's like we take cash, check, or money order. We're like close to the third decade of the 21st century. What is this shit? I like, are you kidding? And they have an ATM machine in the lobby in case you need to get money out. But it's like, what the fuck? The guy was even surprised. He's like, I said, well, I'd have to go. I said, I got to know how much this shit's going to cost because I don't carry that much cash. And he's like, really? You don't carry cash? And I actually did say, it's the 21st century. I do everything by debit card. I do everything with a debit card. It's the 21st century. They were like, well, it's a cash, check, or money order here. And I'm just shaking my head going, oh, Christ. You got to be kidding me. It's stupid. Why are you doing this? The state of Pennsylvania is like that. I know when I was working in state, anytime we had to get a new ID, we had to write a check. It was check or money order. And it's like, why? Why don't you guys just take credit cards? And I was told once that they don't want to go through the process of like firewalling all that shit with secure socket links and whatnot in order to process credit cards. I was like, oh, Jesus, you guys. You're being ridiculous. Man. Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? Yeah, it was Wednesday. It was Wednesday before practice. I was on television. I posted the link to the TV interview. I don't know if any of you looked at it, but you should because you get to see me on TV. You get to hear. I was going to say you get to hear me talking. Boy, if you see any of these videos, you get to hear me talking. Anyway, it was a fun interview, and I was really surprised, especially like a local studio like that. Their studio is about the size of my apartment. It really is not much bigger. It was kind of funny. Because everything is just like in little sections all over the place. And, the weather guy where the weather guy would stand, there's a big green screen there. And it was like right behind where we were doing our segment. So we're kind of facing we were facing the green screen and we had two cameras on us. One was dedicated to long shots and the other would do close-ups on it. And I got a close-up on me like that. Yeah. They got that side of my face. Yeah. I don't know if that's my good side or not. I don't know. They didn't get to see my green nose piercing that I put in. Green. But it was fun. And I actually had someone on my Facebook wall was saying, boy, you look real comfortable in front of a camera. I don't know. It's like I was there promoting a sport where you're constantly coming in contact with women who either you are hitting or they are hitting you. And you're doing this all on roller skates, Being in front of a camera is child's play at that point. So did a little bit of writing. You've seen it. Finished off a scene. I haven't gotten back into it. Basically because Friday I was out running around trying to get my fucking license and plates done. And not naturally, that was on Thursday. Friday, I just said, fuck it. I didn't go back. And I went skating yesterday. And I got a skater's tan. I don't know if you can see this. Probably not because of the lighting in here. But my wrist guard was here and my elbow guard was here. And the only part that got tanned was this exposed part of my arm because I had a t-shirt on too. So the elbow guard goes like right up to my t-shirt. So I got like a skater's tan, you know, right there. Derby girl tan. I got a little bit on my nose too. Not much, but I went out skating on the green belt yesterday. It was a beautiful day. I thought about, man, I should have maybe worn my tank top because it started to get warm. And then I stopped. Along the way was where one of my teammates lives, a teammate who broke her leg back at the end of February. So she just got her 6-week assessment. And the doctor told her she could actually put weight on her leg. So she came down on her in her walker. She had a walker and she came down and we went across the street and sat down in front of the river and we talked for about 90 minutes. It was fun. I think she needed to get out and that bit of human connection was a good one. She had a lot of fun and we did. We talked derby. She was asking how the practices were going and she was telling me about her kids are now real comfortable with the idea that when she gets back to derby, they don't mind the fact that she's going to get hit and shit like that. I ended up actually skating about 5 miles and skating south going back home got kind of tough because the wind picked up and I was like skating directly into a pretty stiff breeze. And if you watch the video that I shot on my GoPro of that, you know, when you hear me in that last video going, like that, it was because I was getting worn out fighting the breeze. I mean, I was skating right into it. So there was a bit of headwind and it wasn't a lot of fun. But one of the things that I figured out was from where I started in that video to where I had to jink off to the left and then go over some sidewalk before getting back into the park. I traveled 1.75 miles, 1 3/4 miles in 13 minutes. And when I figured out the lap time, it was like doing 23 laps every 5 minutes. And if you noticed, I was on uneven territory. I had to dodge people. I had to go around. A couple of times I had to slow up. And I was fighting a headwind, which is something you don't do in a roller rink. You never fight a headwind in a roller rink. You might get going so fast that you cool yourself off, but you never have to fight a headwind. So I was sort of like, yeah, that's pretty damn good. If I managed 23 laps in 5 minutes, which for a 27.5 is not that big of a deal. But that's decent cardio. And if I wasn't fighting the headwind, and if I wasn't tired from dehydration, because that was the other thing I realized too, as I'm skating back, I'm like, I could feel myself getting weak. And it's like, oh my God, I didn't bring any water. I forgot to bring water. And I've been out in the sun skating and sitting now for like over 2 hours. And now I'm getting dehydrated. I didn't do any hydrating. So yeah, I made a mental note of that. I actually went to Little Lambs afterwards, and not only did I have a Pineapple Express, but I drank about 7 glasses of water because I was just like, my lips were actually starting to crack a little bit. They were getting real parched, and I said, that's a bad sign. When they get like that, that means I'm dehydrated. So yeah, I won't make that mistake again. The next time I go out, I'll make certain I bring one of my cling canteens and I'll have water with me. Otherwise, I'll be in sad ass shape. don't want to do that. But it was fun. I was surprised to see I skated. I was just short of 5 miles when I figured it all out. It's like 5 miles on skates. It's pretty good. Going out to meet somebody here at noon, and then we might go do some stuff in the afternoon. But I'm considering going out early tomorrow morning and going skating. And there's like a 2 or 3 mile stretch that I could skate. And I'm thinking of doing that. Going out in the morning, skating before it gets real. Well, it might not be hot tomorrow. I think it's supposed to be 65 tomorrow. So it could be a good day for that. So go out and get like a lot of cardio in, because tomorrow we have a bout review, because I think it's Sunday. Monday will be a bout review, because tomorrow we have our first real bout of the year, of which I'm still not playing in it. Still not certified. And of course that means I will be filming. So I'll be running the bout review off my computer. I did have a 5:27 the other night. I actually, it was interesting. Well, first, and then I don't have any practice on Tuesday night because we have recruitment night. So I'll be helping some bright young derby girl, or someone who wants to be a derby girl, come out and help them learn the ropes. So I won't have practice until Wednesday. And I'll probably do another 27.5 then. So I'm trying to get my cardio in and my skating in and everything else. So Wednesday night, I did a 27.5, and it was... I actually got yelled at for not doing it at first. What ended up happening was we were doing scrimmaging, because the last 3 practices before bout, we get heavy into scrimmaging. And our coach, Mexi, she said, we have some people want to do their laps. So first they called out Omi and Sarah. And they didn't call me, they didn't say anything about me. So I just went over to the side and didn't say anything. And I had thought I was going to be the only one doing it, so I didn't say anything. And one of my teammates, Ms. Smackman, yes, 1982, Smackman, Ms. Smackman, she skates by. She goes, "Why aren't you doing your 27.5 like that?" It was like, uh-oh. I was just like, I'm fucking exhausted. I'm tired. And she just looks at me and she goes, "You need to get out there and do your goddamn 27.5. You need to get out there and do it every time. Do you understand?" I was like, okay. So I went up and I said, I want to do my 27.5 when they're done. And another woman was going out and doing hers. And I ended up having to pass her 3 times. I was actually in a real good groove. And I know I lost a bunch of seconds every time I'd have to pass this other person, because it seemed like inevitably when it came time to pass, I'd come up on her and we'd be going into a turn. And she's hugging the inside of the turn. So I'm trying to get around her or on the inside of her. So sometimes I would actually just go up like this and then, come up and just dive in. The minute she got away from the line about this much, I would just dive between her and the line and take off. I figure I lost, I don't know, 4 or 5 seconds, maybe even more, doing that shit. But I had a 5:27. And I think if I hadn't had to deal with passing the other person 3 times, I might have actually gotten like 5:20, which would have been my best time. But this was the first time I broke a 5:30. And that was with an obstruction, having to get around someone on the track. I almost said obstruction, but no. So I think all this going out and doing the long skating and doing the cardio work, the endurance work actually helps, because you're having to push harder on this pavement to get up speed. And so when you get on the rink floor, I mean, seriously, when I was doing my 27.5, I don't even think I was breathing hard, but not as hard as I've done in the past. And the track just felt great. In fact, it was the first time I ever went into a turn and I was planting myself and pushing off that I didn't feel like I was going to fall. So I was told later, one of the timers, the NSOs, she told me, she was watching me as I went by, and she says, your form was really good. Your crossovers were good. You were getting good push off on the crossovers. And I said, yeah. And, I got held up getting behind. She says, yeah, I saw that. She says, yeah, you did lose time. And she said, there were a couple of spots where you coasted. She goes, if you can do this all the way around without coasting, and you should be able to soon. She goes, you'll get this. You're close. You really are. 27 seconds may not sound like a lot, but that's just, when you think about it, that's only shaving off a second a lap. I'm 27 seconds short of 5 minutes, and I have to do 27 laps in 5 minutes. So, I only need to shave off a second a lap. Really, it really isn't that much. And if you consider that maybe I lost 5 seconds, maybe I lost 7 seconds trying to get around someone, 5:20, I'm close to it. So going out and skating on asphalt has actually, I think it's helping me. And I've even told other skaters too. I said, you should not go to the rink. I think if you want to build up your endurance and build up your speed, it's better to go outside and skate on asphalt, because you have to work harder. Even though you don't realize it, you do have to work harder. And it's a lot of fun too. Plus, you never know, you might run into somebody that sees you on TV. It's like, hey, Derby girl, I saw you on television. What else? Writing. Well, like I said, I didn't write. I did finish that one scene. And I've been thinking about the one thing I wrote the other day where I said, I do have a scene in my head where you do get to see one of Annie and Carrie's kids. And since I said it's before they graduate, I mean, it doesn't take a genius to figure out at some point they'll have a vision together and they'll see one of their kids. And I know the whole scene. I've actually played it out verbally. So I know what's going on, and I know who the kid is and what they look like and everything else. And it's kind of an emotional scene. When I think of the whole of the scene, not just what Annie and Carrie are seeing of their domesticated life when they're not out doing cloak and dagger shit or fighting the good fight and almost dying because of deconstructors. It's really the first glimpse you get of their domestic life. And it's really one of the only ones you're ever going to get of their domestic life. And it's going to come in one of the later novels. That doesn't mean I haven't been kind of itching to write it, but I don't want to give too much away. But it is a really cute scene because it just does deal with the both of them at home. And it deals with them dealing with their child. Their cute little witch. One of those little witches that, Annie says she's carrying inside of her. It came out and it's having a problem. And they want help from Mama and Papa. And Mama and Papa do help out. Yeah, the scene actually starts out, Annie's cooking. So you're getting, it's totally like a domesticated scene, because when the scene starts, Annie's standing in front of the stove checking a sauce. And she's looking at that beef stew stuff that Bulgarians love. And that's when she hears, Mama. Mama. And there's her kid. I'm not going to say the gender, but there's her kid. And you do get to see a little, let's see, would it be a Malaby, or would it be a Malaby Kirilova, or would it be a Kirilova Malaby? I haven't decided on that yet. I don't think that's because Annie hasn't decided on it yet. And Annie does have that. Bulgarians, I think I've mentioned this. It came up in the story. Bulgarians have like several ways of doing their name. I mean, they can. They can take their husband's name, in which case it would be Annie Kirilova, Annie Malaby, or they can tack their family name onto the end of their husband's name, in which case she'd be Annie Malaby Kirilova. Or they can tack their husband's name onto the end of their family name, so she'd be Annie Kirilova Malaby. Or in some instances, some Bulgarian women never take their husband's name. They just keep their family name. So she would always be Annie Kirilova. It would be Carrie Malaby and Annie Kirilova. Carrie wouldn't give a shit one way or the other. And they said even some women will do they'll take their father's name, because that's their middle names are always a palindromic. And she would be Annie Victorieva, and she could even tack Carrie's name on the end of that, and she could be Annie Victorieva Malaby, but probably she wouldn't do that. It's hard to say. She has, I think she did say once she would take her husband's name, but you never know. It could change. And by taking her husband's name, that doesn't mean she just won't tack her husband's name onto the end of hers. So, Annie Kirilova Malaby is a distinct possibility. Again, Carrie's not going to care. Carrie's not going to give a shit. He's not one of these dudes. His masculinity is not going to be threatened by Annie either not taking his family name or, concatenating his name onto hers. Particularly when there are times when Carrie won't have any masculinity. And Carrie, for his part, Carrie does admit Annie's something of a badass. He doesn't try to pull any macho games on her. It just does not work. There will be a scene in one of the upcoming novels where Carrie and Victor, actually it'll come up in this novel first, but it'll come up in other novels too, where Carrie and Victor will be talking, and Victor will say, you will be watching out for my daughter. You will be taking care of her. And Carrie will say, in case you hadn't noticed, Annie doesn't need a whole lot of protecting. You may not have known that. You may not have figured that out, but Annie doesn't need a lot of protecting. I'll have her back, but no. If the shit hits the fan, she's probably going to be the first one to react. She'll probably react before me. And, Victor kind of knows that, but he'll be like, he's being the father. And the father's like, you will look after my daughter, won't you? And Carrie, of course, will eventually go, yeah, don't worry. I got Annie's back. He'll always have Annie's back. So, but yeah, it is. It will be kind of funny because it's like, you will be protecting my daughter. In case you hadn't noticed, she doesn't need a lot of protecting. I'm just throwing that out there because it's true. And you don't need someone like, here, get behind me. I will protect you. She would just roll her eyes. If there is any fighting to do, and we have seen these two fight, they fight shoulder to shoulder. They fight shoulder to shoulder, back to back. It's not one hides behind the other. And when they were doing the Kali test and Annie was getting ganged up on 5-1, yes, it made sense for Carrie to come over and help her out because 5-1 could have overwhelmed her. One of the zombies might have gotten a good lucky bite in on her. So he wasn't doing that because it was the macho thing to do. He was doing it because tactically it was the correct thing to do. And when they were done, he backed off and that was it. And the zombies went after Annie because they perceived her as being the weak one because she's a girl. That's probably what happened. Whoever was running the exercise was like, go after the girl. Go after the girl. They'd been smart. They'd have actually went 4-1 on Annie and threw 2 zombies at Carrie, and that might have held them up longer. But as Newt once said in the movie Aliens, it doesn't matter. They were going to kick their asses anyway. Annie and Carrie. Anybody at Salem now who tries to goad either of these kids into a fight out in a manor, I would think at this point you would even have a hard time getting a champion. Because, Annie dusted some kid who was 2 levels above her when she was a B level. And the kid, showed total respect afterwards. He was like, damn, I'm glad you're not on a Martell team. He was showing some massive respect for getting his butt kicked, He understood that when I'm up against someone better than me, yeah, you show them the respect they deserve. And he did. And word got around after that one. It was like, hey, this girl's tough, man. You fight her, you better be ready. She's a tough one. So plus the fact that she can move around in 3 dimensions really helps. And with Carrie, now we know Carrie likes to use time magic, which is a bitch. He likes to use time magic. And he's really good at casting it quickly. On top of which he proved that he doesn't need magic to beat your ass. Breaking Frankie's arm without using magic, just by getting in there and using some Kali on him. Yeah. We have not seen Carrie do the same sort of stuff that Annie did. Just wait till that does happen, because at some point somebody's going to be stupid enough. There are still people at Salem who think Carrie's the weak one now. Yeah. Keep making that mistake. Because all Carrie's got to do is just throw a time spell around you and slow you down to where all he has to do is just kind of slowly walk across the mat, do. And to you, it just seems like he goes and then just fires up a couple of spells in front of you and then drops the field and nails you. He can do that shit now. You are going to feel stupid. And you are probably going to hurt. But yeah, Carrie's good enough with time magic now that he starts throwing that shit at you. Man, you're in trouble. Annie can fly, and she's can throw out some hellacious stuff. And Carrie, he's good with transformation magic and time spells. So he could do stuff like you're getting ready to nail him, and all of a sudden you go blind. I can't see anything! Which Carrie may actually be able to do. How the hell do you fight against a guy who just like that and you're blind? You're screwed at that point. It's like, what the hell are you going to do? Because then you have absolutely no idea where he's at. And again, he doesn't even have to like throw a fireball at you. All you have to do is throw a time spell around you or turn you blind or, start screwing with your nervous system. You start like going into convulsions because nothing's working. And he just comes up and breaks your arm, or breaks your leg. Just use some collie and he just sweeps your leg out from underneath you and breaks your knee. And you're like laying on the ground screaming, and he's like, that hurt. Boy, that looks painful. Yeah. Their style of fighting is completely different. And Carrie's the kind of smartass. He really is. He's the kind of smartass who, after he beats your ass, is liable to like start throwing out Peter Parker one-liners at you. He's going to be like Spider-Man. Oh, wow, that looked really painful. Did it hurt? It sure did look like it hurt. Boy. Annie's just all about getting business done. She will. She'll just go out, kick your ass, get it over with. Carrie will. He'll go all Peter Parker on you. He'll Spider-Man shade your ass to death. And you'll be sorry that you actually stepped into the ring with him. Because, yeah. You really don't want to do that. You really don't want to get into the ring with Carrie. You don't want to get into the ring with Annie. Because, like I said, Annie's all about getting business done. She's just like, I don't want to suffer this fool. Wham! That's it. It's just all, power moves with her. Where Carrie will fuck with you. I mean, he did with Frankie. He basically did. He broke Frankie's arm and put him down and then just stood over him and was like, I don't give a shit. I can bust you up all day. What's your call, dude? What do you want to do? It's your call. When Annie did it, she just like floats down in front of the guy with a fireball and cold fire, and she's like, step out. No warnings or threats or anything. She's just like, step out or I'm going to fuck you up. Or, he knew it's like, if I don't step out, I'm going to be in serious ass trouble because she will hit me with one of those spells. So he just stepped out, he conceded the fight. And then, like I said, threw mad props at her afterwards. Like, you're formidable. I'm glad you don't fight. I don't have to fight you normally. So that's my kids. I love them. Just wait till they start teaching their kids shit. Can you imagine what their kids are going to be like having these two as parents? Mama, yes. When do I start learning death spells? Well, you're going to be 8 next week. I think that's a good enough time. Yeah. Annie will probably be teaching her kids death spells like for their 8th birthday. She'll be getting them like tomes on assanguation and shit like that. Happy birthday. Oh, thank you, Mom. 50 Ways to Kill Your Opponent. I've always wanted this book. Carrie will be showing stuff like, Just because guys have short fingernails and they'll grow his fingernail out about this long, say, sometimes having long fingernails, there's a real advantage to that, especially when you got it right up next to somebody's eye. Boing, ah! Oh God, these two, they're kids. They're kids by the time they get to Salem. And they will go to Salem. But they're kids by the time they get to Salem. Oh man, look out. Those kids are probably going to be yellow carded up the ass. I would not be surprised if at least one of Carrie and Annie's kids, that's assuming, of course, they have more than one, but they already said they want more than one kid. They don't want to have just an only child. But at least one of their kids will probably have a red card on their student record the day they walk into school. Because when your parents are badass sorceresses doing work for the Guardians, you're going to pick up a few things. And if Annie knew a sanguination at the age of 9, I could almost see it be like, Carrie would be like, okay, I want you to try this electrify on me. And I want you to give me the best shot you got. But what if it kills you, Papa? Oh, your mama's standing right there. She can bring me back to life. Don't worry. She can revive me. Okay, Papa. Carrie, heart stops, drops dead. Annie revives him. He's like, yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, that was a good one, honey. Yeah, you could almost expect something like that. These two, oh man, they're kids. And so what did you do over the summer? Well, I killed my father at least 3 times learning electrify. Oh, that's yeah. And all the other kids, they're like an A-level sorcery. Well, I killed my papa 3 times over the summer, and that's why I have a red card on my student file already. Okay, little Malaby. All the other kids are like, Jesus. Yeah. All the kids who have heard stories from their parents who went to school with Annie and Carrie. When you get to class, if there's a kid there, his last name is Malaby or Kirilova or any combination there, you stay away from them. They're probably crazy like their parents. Yeah. Oh, that next generation of the current one that says school, when they start having kids and their kids start coming to school. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Stay away from any kid named Malaby or Kirilova Malaby. Just stay the hell away from. Why? You'll find out. Oh, aren't your parents Annie and Carrie? Yeah, they are. So what did you do over the summer? Oh, I killed my father like 6 times. I was learning electrify. You let me kill him. My mom brought him back to life. It's okay. Time for lunch, ain't it? No, it's only 9:30. No, I think it's time for lunch. I'll see you around. Woo! Those poor kids. They ain't going to get dated much in school. You think they'll get dated? What'll really be funny is if Emma has kids. And what would be the odds of like Emma's kids starting to hit on one of Annie and Carrie's kids? And Annie and Carrie's kids come home. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be a boy or a girl, but yeah. Oh, there's someone there. They said they like me. They wanted to kiss me and everything else. Yeah. What's their last name? Well, oh, I don't know that. Yeah, their mother's name is Emma from Colorado. Oh, that bitch. And he'll be like rolling her eyes going, stay away from that kid. Their mother's a psycho. Their mother kissed your father when I wasn't around. Honey, that happened 20 years ago. Would you let it go? No. I will not let it go. All right. Well, I think I've rambled on enough. All this fun with Annie and Carrie and their kids. And maybe one of these days you get to see their kid. Maybe. Possibly. Could be. Take care. Bye.